Anybody else excited about that? I am. Thank you, guys. So my name's Justin Dennis. I'm co-founder, COO of Urban SDK. We're a Jacksonville-based data analytics platform focused primarily on infrastructure management of connected devices. We started the company in 2018. We are a homegrown company, have since raised $8 million in venture capital, and are working with cities throughout North America. We got our first start with Jeff Sheffield at North Florida TPO. He really saw the need for data management for physical infrastructure, and couldn't be more proud to be a Jacksonville-based company. And so, Matt, thank you so much for organizing this. It's a really a needed event for cities, for entrepreneurs like myself and my business partner to have opportunity to build high growth businesses here in Jacksonville. So thanks, Matt, thanks Chang Industrial and all the partners involved. So again, I'm just gonna give you a quick background on myself. I started in data analytics. In 2009, I built a social media listening company. We were doing sentiment analysis on what people were talking about on Facebook, Twitter. There was no Instagram at the time, but we were helping big brands like the Jaguars, who were a customer, to understand how social media and sentiment impacted their sales, impacted their brand. From there, I moved from data of people into how it impacted the workforce. And I built a company that was focused on applying psychographic data to building out personas with the workforce to help the Fortune 100 leverage employee data as well as their recruiting data to recruit a better fit for certain roles. And then I got very interested in IoT, and in 2020, we started to analyze travel patterns of how vehicles were moving across infrastructure, how mobile devices were moving between different places. And since that point, we launched Urban SDK in about 2018, 2020. We've now made this shift to more of thinking about a digital twin. How can a city, how can a government understand all of their physical assets, digitize the information from those assets to make smarter infrastructure decisions? Through that time, and I think most people now are thinking about AI, you've heard about ChatGPT, but I just want to give you guys a quick snapshot on why we're really at this inflection point for artificial intelligence. If you've thought about AI in any form or fashion, it really started in 1956. This is not a new concept. This became an academic area of study in 1956. But in the last several years, you've had NVIDIA. NVIDIA was actually founded in 1993. AWS was offered in early 2000s, which is a cloud infrastructure. And then you had Tesla come along in early 2000s as well. These are pivotal moments for AI and how we get to where I'm going to talk about the need for AI and infrastructure going forward. So if you fast forward to AI and its conversation, really hit a peak of like, what is this thing? How is it going to impact us? McKinsey came out with a report saying we're all going to be out of jobs by 2020 in 2004. But it's really taken a step forward through where we are today. And you've started to see things like language learning models or LLMs. ChatGPT is something that you hear a lot about, but we're really just at this place where AI is going to begin to impact everything that we do and ultimately build more productive businesses, more profitable businesses, more efficient employees. And so one of the things that's really the greatest tipping point is if you look at the major stocks that all have significant growth and investment all geared towards AI and making AI possible. First off, with NVIDIA's incredible growth, a lot of these things couldn't be possible without a combination of these companies coming together now. You have hardware, compute, GPU, cloud services, and largest businesses in the world all dedicated to how will this impact our services to our customers. So some of the things that are also going on that can be considered is there's now more mobile subscriptions in the world than there are human beings. There's 8.5 billion mobile subscriptions. Our company, we collect data from mobile advertising GPS devices to understand travel patterns, to understand volume and movement. Satellite imagery is the next jump-off point for us where not everybody's been following satellites. You can't see them. I know that can be difficult, but they are now becoming accessible to any business. And the level of imaging has become so insane that we can now get to 3-centimeter resolution. That means I can get to a 3-centimeter snapshot of the earth, the water, the roads, the building. And all of these satellites can now be launched for less than $5 million. So if you think about that from an amount of data that we can collect, it's a tremendous thing that's going to drive most of the infrastructure market forward. So I can't get this to play, but one of the things that I wanted to show is now you have autonomous vehicles running. And this is a video, you can see it on any YouTube if you search Tesla driving or Waymo driving. This vehicle is now running on our highways, and it's collecting about 1 terabyte of data a day per vehicle from its LiDAR. Oh, excellent, look at that. And so you can see what this vehicle is doing is it's collecting imagery, it's defining where it needs to go, and in a second here, you're going to see an adverse event of this vehicle on the shoulder. It now knows it needs to move over safely and then back into its lane. One of the things that's most significant and compelling about this is, one, there's no driver, but two, there's not a single company in the world that can manage this amount of data for all the vehicles on the road. So they have to build on-device machine learning to just send pieces of information about the events they want to study back to the cloud, back to Waymo to make their AI more intelligent. So it's pretty incredible. What I want to do is bring this full circle for you guys, and why our business is making such an impact is that the US DOT has a total budget of about $203 billion a year. They allocate that in about $20 billion a year specifically to invest in improving our infrastructure. It's a massive line item in any budget, and it's a significant use of our tax dollars. However, can anybody tell me what this is? Can I take a guess? Any guesses in the room? Yes, you, sir. It's what? It's counting traffic. That's correct. So with all of the satellites, with all of the mobile devices, with the vehicles collecting more data than we can actually manage, the primary data collection source for state and federal budget is still 2 guys putting rubber tubes on the road. And this is not to call anybody out. These gentlemen are very good at their job. It collects information very well. However, most of the time, these small projects can cost up to $100,000 for a city to collect information, one segment of road at a time. If you've ever run over one of these black tubes, it's counting your car, it's counting how fast you're going. And most cities cannot afford to measure all of their infrastructure because this is impossible to scale. And so when we started our company, that was the activity that we wanted to replace with all this new data that we can leverage. And we're growing because we've been able to reduce the cost per mile and how much it costs to actually measure the earth by $5,000 to about $100 per mile from the $5,000 cost per mile that governments were traditionally using. So we've made a piece of software that collects the information that I mentioned from mobile data, satellite imagery, connected vehicles, and physical devices, and deploy that in a piece of software that allows the city to have scale to measure not only what infrastructure they have, which infrastructure needs to be improved, which roads are congested, which roads have safety issues, all by logging in online. And we address a number of use cases across many departments. A lot of times departments will manage traffic counts independently and not share information with their partner agencies. Our platform enables data sharing across the entire city, and this is very hard to read, but trust me, it's all good stuff. And we're at the kind of the precipice of this information, and we've started in government because they're the regulators. They get to set the rules of the road, and we've been growing again throughout North America, but are moving into growth areas this year, and by 2029, we'll be extending these data sets and analytics to a wide range of industries such as insurance, logistics, real estate, and go beyond just serving our local governments. I'll give you one more, and that's kind of our pretty picture of where we are in North America. So thank you all for your time. My name's Justin Dennis, CEO at Urban SDK.